but I'm gonna break down how to find your spouse in 90 days. Maybe you're on a dating app and you've got 10 people who matched with your profile. And you're like, okay, there's 10 of these people. Here's the next thing you do. Texting is not allowed though. The only text you can send is, I don't do texting, I only do calling because I'm serious about finding somebody. What this does is it filters out all the shallow people right away. We don't want to text them, we want to call them first. We want to talk to them on the phone. And then you handle objections. People don't know how to handle objections. They think all objections are rejections, but they're not. I'm gonna just do it live. I'm gonna break down how to find
You've been wanting to do this from the beginning.
I'm gonna break it down for these two.
Okay.
And I want one of them to prove it to me.
Okay.
But they'll have to do it. But I'm gonna break down how to find your spouse in 90 days.
Go for it.
This doesn't mean you'll be married in 90 days, but you'll find them. Or, okay, let's break it down. How to find your spouse in 90 days. This could be its own podcast, but we're just going to do it inside this podcast. The reason I know how to do it is because I know how to close deals consistently, systematically. And I know what it takes to do that. And signing a contract with another human being in sales is very closely related to marriage. It's way more closely related than most people think it is. So let's do it. So there's a principle inside of physics, and it says in physics, all principles are microcosms of each other, meaning that if a principle in one area and one arena in physics is true, it's also true in the other arena. So with that said, if the system that we use to sell millions and millions of dollars worth of contracts every year works for that, it will also work for this. So there's a lot of faith I'm putting into this statement, but what's going to happen is it's going to work, which is wild. So here's what you do. And people are already doing it, so I honestly don't feel like giving this advice is going to hurt anybody at all because they're already doing a way worse version of this by using dating apps. But here's what you do. You could use a dating app if you wanted. You go on there, and actually a guy named Alex Hormozy, who's super famous, this is how he met his wife and married her in a very quick time. But he went on a dating app, he matched with a girl, and it was the dating app where the girls have to like the guys. Bumble, I think. Girls have to like I don't know how it all works, but basically what he did was he went on there and he messaged the girl. He's like, look, I'm just ready to hop on the phone, meet you in person. He's like, I don't want to text. And she was like, okay. And she even tried to back out and was like, I don't know if we should meet in person. He's like, just meet me in person. Well, just meet me in person. If you don't like me, fine. We don't have to talk. You know what's so crazy about that? That's exactly how you approach a sale. The same exact principle. We don't want to text them. We want to call them first. We want to talk to them on the phone. And then you handle objections. People don't know how to handle objections. They think all objections are rejections, but they're not. A rejection is when I know something about you and I've decided I don't want that part of you. An objection is when I'm assuming something about a situation that may or may not be true and I'm scared that it may be true, but it may not. And usually an objection is a really good sign that they do want to pursue it, they're just afraid. And as a leader, and I would say this would be more for guys that this would work properly for because they're generally the ones pursuing girls. You can see it run rampant in today's society. But if you're on a dating app, figure out, first of all, you have to have leads. You have to have leads. If you don't have any girls to talk to, and I'm talking to guys right now because I am one and the guys in the room are right here. But if you don't have leads, you don't have any potentials to talk to. But here's the thing about leads. Some will, some won't. That's it. If you generate, the more leads you generate, the more chances you have in business, right? So let's say you generate 10 leads of prospective girlfriends, right? Which means maybe you're on a dating app and you've got 10 people who matched with your profile. And you're like, okay, there's 10 of these people. Here's the next thing you do. You have to set the appointment. Texting is not allowed though. The only text you can send is, I don't do texting. I only do calling because I'm serious about finding somebody. And I feel like if we get on the phone and talk, it's going to be way faster for us to know if we're the right person or the wrong person. And then we can just easily part our ways without having to spend weeks and weeks of going through all of this pain, right? Now, the other person is likely going to be like, yeah, that makes some sense. But what this does is it filters out all the shallow people right away. So all the low quality leads, they're gone because they're not going to do it, because they're not looking for that same thing. But I can pretty much tell you probably 1 out of 10, 10 out of 100, depending on the law of large numbers, are somebody's going to go, dang, finally, I've been looking for the exact same thing. So now what you've done is you've eliminated all the people who you were about to waste your time with, and you've gotten to the person who was the right one for you or a good fit for you. Now you get on the phone instantly and you go, what you can do on the phone. So let's say you send a text and somebody takes 1 hour to respond to that text. So now if you want to have a conversation and ask 20 questions, it's going to take 20 hours. Or even if let's say they take 10 minutes, it's going to take 20 questions times 10 minutes, 200 minutes. Now, if you're on the phone and you ask something that you would ask via text, you've cut that time, which A, kills the ability for response delay, and B, allows you to find out if they're a good fit way faster, saving you so much time. Now, it's instead of taking you 90 months to find someone, you can shrink that down to 90 days because all you're doing is using math in your favor. That's it. You're still doing the same thing you were doing. You're just doing it faster and you're sifting through. So what I'm talking about is not magic, but instead it's math. And you use the law of large numbers because people in their 30s and 40s, they're eventually going to find somebody. The reason it took so long, though, is because they were taking a very slow approach. But if you want to speed that up, just talk to them on the phone, because when I ask you a question, how long does it take you to reply? What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you value X, Y, and Z?
Yes.
Do you want to meet up in person and hang out?
No.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe not, right?
I'm just kidding.
Sure, no, but maybe right. Not. But right. What if it is a no?
Right.
Or what if, no, I don't believe in God. No,
Sure.
We just have different values.
Right.
Okay, sweet. No problem. Now I spent 30 minutes of my time figuring out you weren't the right person. And now I can eliminate you. And I don't have to go through a week of, what if this is the person? I just need to know the answer to that one question. I go through this week, I'm depressed for the second week, then I get back on the app again. Now I'm 3 weeks into something that could have taken 30 minutes. But if I had 10 people that I matched with, and this one was a no, I know in 30 minutes now I'm on to the next one and they're gone.
So really what you're saying is the automation process can load things up with basically worthless leads.
100%.
And instead of having to spend time on the ones, because back in the day, you didn't have dating apps. So you saw somebody, you met them, you went out with them, you talked to them.
That's why they got married faster.
And you grew relationships. So you're saying that now in the automation world of dating, it's actually taking longer.
Yep.
Because it takes so much longer to get to a point of really knowing whether this is a fit.
Yep.
So I have a question around that.
Yeah.
Is that strategic?
It's incredibly strategic. You could systematize it right now. If somebody said, if I told you this month, somehow talk to 10 girls this month. And here's what they're going to find out. No girls want to talk to me. And then I would ask them, no girls want to talk to you, or the girls you want to talk to don't want to talk to you? And then they're going to say, the girls I want to talk to don't want to talk to me. And then I'm going to go, okay, well, here's the problem. You're obsessing. This is last week's episode. You're obsessing over trying to sell you to them instead of trying to figure out what they want. Because a sale is the exact same thing. If I'm trying to get from you because I want you to buy my thing, I'm obsessing over selling the solution instead of over solving the problem. But when I obsess over solving your problem, all of a sudden, you just want to pay me. And we talked about that last time. Here's the problem with dating right now. Guys are obsessing over trying to sell themselves as a solution when they don't even know what the girl wants. And what's going to happen is if you go through 10 conversations and you get rejected 10 times, you're not getting rejected, you're getting objected, which means there's some things they like about you, but some things they don't. Now, here's the problem. What if they don't like that you're not fit? Well, that's good because that's changeable. What if they don't like that you're not career driven or have, money? Well, that's good because that's changeable. And then you realize, like, is it shallow that they want those things, or should I go out and become that? Because that's what I do in business. I listen to my clients and I say, what do you guys want? And they're like, well, we want this, 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 and this. And if I don't know how to do it, guess what I go do? I go become the person who knows how to do it. If you are constantly facing objections with your desired client or desired girlfriend, spouse, whatever, it's because you're probably not the person yet. But the beautiful thing is, in most cases, you can become the person. And either way, you're going to find out. And you could take that information and be like, that girl's so shallow. She just wants a guy who's got money and who's fit, and she doesn't like me for me. It's like, well, who doesn't want a guy who's got money and is fit? You should. Those are basic things that people should want, because a marriage is more than a feeling relationship. It's one of the strongest possible commitments and partnerships you can possibly have. You better be able to make money, and you better be able to live a long time and take care of your family and your house. Like, duh. If you're so self-centered, saying like, yeah, I'm looking for the girl who likes me for me. It's like, well, look for a girl who you like and ask them what they need and become that, which is so wild. I'm not saying change yourself, change your fundamentals, but there are a lot of things that people just aren't willing to do. But like, you shouldn't be looking for someone to make your life better. You should be looking for someone who you can make their life better.
So I feel this right now. Collab dating app,
Maybe.
guaranteed spouse in 90 days.
Or your money back. I honestly would. And I'd say this is how you do it.
And you're not joking. I was kind of joking, but you're not joking.
I'm not joking.
Yeah.
We've thought about running an ad for David. But I think it would work extremely well.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'm hearing a lot of. I'm hearing females out there going, mathematics? Oh, that's great. That is great, Joey. That's good for men, mathematics. But where's the romance?
Man, that's good. Well, the romance comes into this, right? What's more romantic than a person caring more about you than you care about yourself?
Bingo. And that's kind of what I wanted you to say, because that's what I picked up when you talked about, are you looking at what they want? Because that is very, very romantic. But I think you needed to verbalize that, because romance is not based upon necessarily time either.
No, it's not.
It's so, even though, but I just know there's going to be a little like mathematics. Okay.
It's true. Yeah, no, you're right. On my end, I look at things mathematically, some logical. Men generally men generally solve problems logically. But a lot of the times, the problem isn't a logical problem. It's an emotional problem. It's feeling.
Right.
But I will tell you this, all deals occur because of feeling, if they're a real deal. If it's not somebody strong-arming you into something. But the only reason people make decisions is because they feel like making it. That's it. There's nothing else.
So sales is romantic.
Sales is extremely romantic in the sense of, if you think of romance as reciprocity, which it is. It means I care. What romance really is is somebody caring about you more than you care about you, or more than you care about, they care about themselves, and then vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody has to lead that.
Sure.
And that's what people don't get, but men lead that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Supposed to lead it.
men are supposed to lead. They're designed to lead it.
Mm-hmm.
And but same in a sales scenario. If you want a new kitchen, you want your kitchen remodeled, and I remodel kitchens, we're a match, right?
Mm-hmm.
For that business transaction.
Yeah.
And I could be like, Rich, I see you guys want a kitchen. Like, let's talk through it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm there trying to sell you and trying to get you to pay me, you're not going to feel like doing that because
Right.
you don't feel like paying me. You feel like getting a new kitchen, right? And if I'm just obsessed over like, wow, we could get this done, that done, and then I'm obsessed over your situation, like, what's a good budget for you? Would you rather have super affordable, no interest payments, or would you rather pay this all up front? Like, what do you want? And I'm
Mhm.
just obsessed. And I'm so obsessed that I get to the end and I can tell you, it doesn't sound like we can actually help you with what you want. And then I walk away. You're still going to respect me because I could be like, Rich, it doesn't sound like I can actually help you with what you want because you want this budget, this style, this quick. We can't meet all those things.
Yeah.
But either, and that's the problem. That's the thing. It's like not everyone's the right one, and that's okay. But if I have 10 more of you to talk to that week, somebody's going to fit. Mathematically, 3 out of 10 are going to fit, which is wild. And if it works in that arena, something tells me it works in the dating arena too.
3. Think
So
of that,
if
guys.
you've only talked to 3 girls this year, mathematically, it's not possible. And if you only talk to 3 girls next year, mathematically, again, it's not possible. So you got to up the speed. And it sounds like I'm saying
Mhm.
date a bunch of girls. I'm not saying date a bunch of girls. I'm saying generate some leads. Like talk to them. See if a lead.
I'm laughing because I can, I can hear the ladies listen to this going, generate leads. I'm a lead.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that, you might have to dig yourself out of a hole on this one, but
No, they are though. And it's not a bad thing because the beautiful thing about being a lead
you're just saying
is it's like you're attracted at some level. That's
Right.
what a lead is.
and you're also talking about how being open and transparent up front eliminates spending time and investment with the wrong person.
Exactly. Why would
Mhm.
why would
What's
we
the value of
what
that?
what if we talked so slow about your kitchen project? Like I'm talking to you and Lisa both, right?
Mhm.
Say you and Lisa want a kitchen. You're like, hey Joey, I know you guys do kitchens. Come out and talk to us about my kitchen. And we're texting. I'm like, how many openings do you have in your kitchen? 50. Okay. How many square feet is it? Now I have to wait for you to have the time to figure out and measure it. What kind of colors do you want? What kind of handles do you want? Text. How long is that conversation going to take?
But there's some people believe that texting actually speeds things up.
It 10x slows it down, if not 100x. Because how long is that conversation going to take? I would venture to guess a month. And in that time, you're like, this is a headache. I don't even know if I want a new kitchen.
With inaccurate information or an interpretation that's inaccurate, because it's hard to interpret a text.
And then what's going to be at the end is like, you know what? I probably should just come out and measure it myself. So I'm just skipping to the front. And
So
being
we
like,
should just might as well meet in person up front.
hey, Rich, you got 90 minutes for me to stop out there, take measurements. I'll show you every single color, door, hardware we have. You can pick what you want, and I'll leave you with a contract that's good for 1 year. You don't even have to make a decision that night. How does that sound?
It sounds great. I'll do it.
Guess what?
But why
90
did
minutes.
why did the dating apps almost set things up so it's a prolonged communication before there's any type of
Because the longer you're on, the longer you pay, and the more money they make. That's it. If you get off that app too quick, they lose money. You got to look at it like that. You got to understand that's how it works.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So how are we going to land this bird?
Get on an app, go to a church, go to a coffee shop. It's not wrong to just, it's creepy if you're weird about it. But if you're going to a coffee shop and you find somebody that you connect with, and this is for single people only, like I'm not talking about like married people trying to ruin relationships or anything like that. I'm talking single people who want to find somebody. Don't be weird, don't be creepy, but if you're at a coffee shop and you connect with somebody that's taking your order or whatever, or like you just run, hey, like, how come people just can't have conversations? It's because people have made things so creepy. Like, don't be so creepy about it. Just be like, hey, sounds like you're really, if you run into somebody studying at a Starbucks and you're studying at a Starbucks, hey, I notice you're reading the textbook from, this class or whatever. It's like, I'm actually studying the same thing. Where do you go to school? Oh, I go to the community college. Oh, what are you studying? Like, why can't you just have a conversation? If they don't want to talk to you, or you can feel that they don't want to talk to you, then just go away. Don't be weird about it. Don't be awkward, but generate some leads. So here's how we generate leads. So I'll just tell people how to generate leads. You can pay to generate leads. And David and Peyton might want to hear this right now because this is a really good strategy, but you can pay to generate leads. You can generate leads through referral, and you can generate leads through word of mouth. So here's how you generate leads through referrals. You go and you talk to a bunch of people you trust and you say, hey, I'm looking to get married. Do you know anyone who you think would be a good fit for me? Guess what? You talk to a bunch of, like, you talk to your mom, your aunts, your cousins, your friends. Ask as many people as possible and just let them know. And what they're going to do is they're going to set you up on what's called a blind date, which is really an appointment. It's a set appointment. And that's what you want. You want as many blind dates as you can get. Blind dates are the goal here, because a blind date is just simply getting to know somebody, but not over text, in person.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be weird, don't be creepy, meet at a public place. Like, don't make it awkward. But referrals, like, just ask people if they could refer anyone to you. That's how we would do it for generating leads. Other thing is you can do paid marketing, which is dating apps, where you can actually go on and boost your profiles and get seen by more people. That's another way. Paid marketing is always lower quality than referrals and word of mouth. So it will be also in this arena too. That is still true, but you can get more volume because you can pay for it. You're just gonna have to sort through more and sift through more. And those are the two main types. The other type is organic. So if you post on social media and you're posting about things, and you could post and be like, hey, going to the gym today, here's what I worked on today. Just let people into your life. Let people see what you're up to. And you could even say on there, it's like, hey, I'm working on this. I'm working to become a person that would be a good husband someday. You make that post and you make a call to action, or not a call to action, but you make those posts frequently. People are going to be like, people might message you. They might run into you. Or at the end, you make the post and you're like, hey, I'm looking for a spouse. If you're a woman that's values the same things as me, like, let's have a combo. Why is that weird? It's not. You're doing it already in dating apps, but it's way more superficial, because what's creepy is when you're just looking at people's pictures. You're like, that person's picture looks good, and that bio, like, that's creepy to me. Like, do it normally. Like, have it. They're just humans. Have conversations. You do that. You generate 2 leads through your network, word of mouth. Generate 2 leads from a dating app. Generate 2 leads from organic content. Now you got 6 leads, right? And then just turn as many of those into appointments as you can, blind dates as you can. And then I don't know how we turn this episode into this, but it's comparing business to relationships. And the main thing is communication, because what this all boils back down to is essentially the goal is to get from, if there's any interest at all, as fast as you possibly can get to a call, get to the call. And then as fast as you can possibly get to the table, get to the table. It's the same thing in sales. And it's the same thing in dating. Generate the lead, book the appointment, get to the table. You can do those things. The faster you do those things and in the larger amount of quantity you do those things, you'll close deals, but they all require one skill.
And there you have it. How to find a wife in 90 days.
It's crazy, but math works.
Hmm.
You're already doing the same strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just taking 90 months. Don't take 90 years. I'm just telling you how to speed up communication. That's it.
Yeah.
The reason people take so much time is because the communication takes so much time. And time moves on no matter what. So, yeah. Any closing thoughts?
No, I think that's great. I mean, there's people out there that I think they do want that process. They're tired of the game, the dating game. They want to find somebody that they can be, that's special and they're fit, move forward. And I think you've given some great practical instructions on how to move that forward without a lot of delay and and I think it's right. It's true. Nobody wants their business to be stretched out like that.
No.
You want to determine who you're going to partner with in business and do it quickly. So you don't want to be led on, whether it's in the business world or whether it's in the relational world. You don't want to be led on.
And with that, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Rich to Wealthy, where we take you from being rich in one area, which you can be rich in your finances, you can be rich in your relationships, you can be rich in your fitness, you can be rich in your faith, and you can be rich in your purpose. But if you're not rich in all five, you're not wealthy. And so we're taking you from rich to wealthy. And today we talked about how you can do this in your relationships, which gets you one step closer to being wealthy. And also this exact same principle works in business. If your business is growing too slow, turn up the math. If your relationships are moving too slow, turn up the math. Any closing thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Rich to Wealthy. We'll see you on the next one. And maybe if somebody in 90 days, if they do the strategy, let me know how it's going. And we'll talk to you soon.